All right, so here is, these are my supplies. This is it. I have 2 yellows, 1 and 2 greens, and a big space. Of course, my cart goes there, but this is all empty. But my Baxter guy should be coming today around 12:30ish to 2:30, which is really weird and annoying because I need to do my exchange at 1. So hopefully he shows up early because they tend to. All right, let's see what I can get done. Okay, so I got the boxes moved. And again, because you want to have your new supply here and your older supply used first, I always leave these here so that I have a starting point and he can put everything else here. And then that way I'll be able to move these out, put the fresh stuff there, and then put these as my new boxes that I'm going to use. You don't want to rotate. So you want to rotate them because these actually have an expiration date. So you don't want anything bad to happen to them because this is vital. And so here you can see the marks on my carpet where they usually are. And again, since I only do 3 exchanges a day, then I don't really need too much. Usually they drift on over here and I have to restack them anyways. But yeah, I feel bad for this guy. He's going to come around noon and it's hot. It's going to be probably 104 at that point. So these guys need a raise. They desperately and should and deserve a raise. I mean, come on. Plus, I'm on the 2nd floor. That's not pretty. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. I came out and look who's in my spot. What are you doing, Mr. Smokey? You are silly. Speaking of Mr. Smokey, I am going to have to put him out there when he comes. Thankfully, it's pretty shady. I mean, it is in the shade, and then it hits sun about 1, 2 o'clock. But the whole patio never gets completely sunned. So I think we'll be okay. But he will not be okay because he always gets so upset, huh? You are silly. So my DeVita guy just showed up, and he's getting ready to bring up some of my items. His name's Adam. I just give them so much credit for working in this heat. It's so gross. I better put Smokey out though, so hold on. Smokey's like, what in the hell? He is not going to be happy. It's a little warm. So he's a little bit put off and listening that he's outside, but he's just going to have to survive it. It's not terribly hot, and look, you can tell that it's shaded. And even Marshall, I don't know if you can tell through the screen, but he's enjoying his day out there. He likes to build up that corner so he can look out and see people. So far we have those boxes in. And he'll be in with the rest of it. I think I have 16 boxes coming in altogether. So what a great, it's such a great feeling to get replenished, actually. It's when it gets really low that you're kind of like, well, okay, so if a monsoon storm comes in and I can't get a delivery, how do I survive? Right, he's been so patient. Going to let you back in, Mr. Smokes. That's right. Sorry. You had to be outside, but good boy. I know. And then Marshall looks like he's still enjoying that little bit of sun, so we'll let him have that moment. I always close the blinds because it helps keep that heat out. And ta-da! Everything is here. Jeez. Looks pretty good to me. All right, so he did put one on top of there. So what I'll do is I will put that on there and then pull these 2 out and then get these kind of lined up a little differently because, again, I have to use these 2 bottom ones first. So not so bad. Just got to rearrange a little bit. And then that way I'll be able to put my cart back over here where it belongs. As you can see, everything is put properly. The bottom box definitely needs to go up there, but right now I need to do my exchange. I go through the green boxes much faster because I use 2 of them a day. Up here, I went ahead and took out the yellow bags stuff because like that ends up being Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because I only use 1 a day. And instead of having another box, this is just easier. And then I went ahead and put 2 that I will use tomorrow out of this box. So I'm all set for that. Mostly because I just don't like touching the boxes a whole bunch because they're pretty dusty and you don't know what's crawled on them. So I kind of I like to wash my hands, get the bag out. I usually go back and wash my hands anyways, just because you never know. So that does leave me room for my little cart. So all is well. And Mr. Smokey is enjoying the nice cool air, his bone, and the frog position, which means that he's cooling his undersides. Good boy. See that tail? It's fun. It's really fun. He's a good boy. Okay, so just so you know, it's always important that you have at least 5 days, I believe it is, of backup supplies. Typically when it comes to the dextrose themselves, the way they calculate it out for you will always have that amount extra for you when you first start dialysis. And so that's why it's also very important to rotate your supplies. And I've never had a situation happen where I didn't get my dextrose. There has been a time, 1 or 2 times before, where they had to ship it from a different warehouse back east someplace, and so they came UPS, which really made me mad because UPS drivers who delivered this, so specifically the ones who delivered, literally threw the boxes up the steps and just dropped them everywhere. And I wish I had taken pictures of what I witnessed because it was BS. Like, I'm pretty capable of picking up a box without dialysis in, and then if I have to move them with dextrose in, then that's fine. Although I do watch that I'm not straining. I was furious because I wanted to be a voice to those who cannot pick up the items. Plus the fact that you set our dextrose outside in this Tucson sun and it will be ruined. And it was just a disaster. So anyways, I contacted Baxter. I told Davita, and I just wanted to be an advocate and a voice for those who may have had or would maybe have had the same situation happen to them, because it's not right. And whether they're paying for it or an insurance is paying for it, still doesn't matter. Like, treat us with dignity. I've had UPS deliver. In fact, today they delivered a separate shipment to me, and I'm not really sure what's inside the items, but sometimes that happens. But they lined it up very nicely next to my door, and it's super great. Again, because these boxes are pretty heavy, there's 6 bags, 2 pounds, so that would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that's 12 pounds you're lifting and having to carry up the steps. And the Baxter guy, though, has like this trolley thing that has some type of motor on it that lifts it up each step, so he's not having to manhandle it up, which is really great, you know. I mean, so I can compassionately see why UPS would have done what they did, but at the same time, it was completely unnecessary, and I hope that they never do it again, or to anybody else, because I will raise a fuss. We don't really live in a place where we have a lot of natural disasters, so that would be the other reason why your dialysis would maybe not show up. Of course, during that rainstorm monsoon that knocked out all the electricity in Tucson, I could see that they would pause to deliver until the storm passed, but definitely that wouldn't stop me from getting a delivery. But I don't know, other places in the world, I could imagine that it might become difficult, or, you know, things that do happen like hurricanes, tornadoes, etc. But thankfully, I don't really have that situation here, so I'm good with not being afraid. Basically, it's nice, I should say. It's nice to not be afraid that a natural disaster could happen and I could not get my dialysis. In fact, towards usually the week that I'm going to get a delivery, I do feel a little nervous, like, and I usually will double check to see what day is my delivery expected, because then it gives me peace of mind that, okay, so I have enough boxes to cover that. The biggest thing is that you don't want to go a day and skip, because you definitely still continue to build up the toxins, and you need to do your dialysis in order to remove that. And if you're not doing your dialysis to remove that, then you're just filling up with toxins and there's no point. And I want to say that there's like 3 days or something of not doing dialysis. I think you could die. So you don't want to mess around because your body does not want these toxins in them, right? That you need to get rid of stuff. I think I'm 2 years, 4 months of dialysis. I have not skipped 1 day at all. Sometimes I'll do 2 exchanges a day instead of the 3, just because of my lifestyle and what's happening. I always very, very diligently take in food and drink so that I'm not over-toxing myself and then not doing enough exchanges to help pull what I need to pull. In my head, this makes sense because I don't have to actually pull a lot because I haven't consumed a lot. But again, that's just kind of what I've chosen to do. And not all the time. And then again, remember when I traveled to Washington, I did 2 exchanges on the days that we were traveling because I was literally sitting in the car, hardly eating anything. So I didn't want to have fluid overload and have my ankle swell and all of that because we were sitting for such a long amount of time. And it was like 24 hours straight of driving. So you just have to kind of figure it out for yourself, but also talk to your nurse or your doctor about, you know, what you're thinking and feeling. That's about it, I guess. This was a great day for delivery, and I did tell him, and I thanked him so much about, you know, all the things that they do for us, because that would be hell for me to have to bring up these boxes to my apartment in this heat. And he actually delivers in Yuma all the time. So he's like, well, it's a little nice here, actually, if you compare it to Yuma. And I was like, oh my God. But I don't know where Phil is. So I haven't seen Phil in probably at least 4 months. He's been my dialysis delivery guy, I want to say the longest. And then they switch them out and change up there. I hope Phil's good. I don't know that Phil watches. Maybe you do, Phil. But I miss you. And thanks for everything you've done so far. But I do thank Adam today as well, because it is like 109 today, I think. Ugh. So, I don't know. Anyways, I'll let you go. Have a good day. Drink your water. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.